Hi, Mr. Pelargonium here, and I'm going to cut back my big Copthorne. I'm filming this in the afternoon of the day that I've done my Pelargonium and Geranium Society video earlier on this morning. But the Copthorne has dried out. It's quite warm and humid today, and the Copthorne has dried out. So I'm going to crop it. Let's go for it, shall we? Big. Hopefully I can get it in here without ruining everything. I think I can. It's a big boy. Yeah. So much easier for me to do it at this height. Now I do intend to repot this. It's quite clean. I did check round it. There's nothing too bad. Now I'm going to get my secateurs. Now I want to take this back by at least half. It's going to be quite a big crop. So let's go for it. I mean, I am sort of loosely looking to make tidy clips. That will have to go down to that. I can see various nodes I can go down to, so I'm trying to be tidy. I'll do this side first. It's not too difficult to do. I mean, I did actually film this last year, but it's growing very strongly, so I'm hopeful that there are not going to be too many problems with the growth and the root in the compost, because everybody knows that historically we can have problems with mealybug in the area that I am. Cut that small one. Now what I'm probably going to do, I've got quite a few other things to do this afternoon, so I'm cutting this back now and we will let this rest overnight and I will repot it tomorrow. I will film that for you. It'll basically be shaking off all of the compost that it's been rooted in for over 3 years. It's been in here. I've not touched it. It's just been fed relatively strongly, and obviously the growth has done really well. Now the one thing I have done, I'm taking off some of the weaker stems, by the way. I'm going to check the focus. Yeah, that's fine. Don't think it'll do any harm to rest over the night, but it is just typical of what you would do. Don't be frightened to cut them. Get rid of all these dead and dying leaves. Fairly straightforward stuff, it's not too complicated. And so I'm getting rid of some of the weaker stems, which in general you will find are actually flowering stems. So I'm going to take them out in their entirety. It's fair enough. I'll probably have to empty my bin at some point, because this is going to fill my bin up quite early. We've got a lovely strong stem here. You get a fantastic cutting from that, but I actually took 2 cuttings earlier in the season, about a month or so ago. I mean, that would be a brilliant cutting, but I took 2, and in fact I can actually show you one of them because I potted it up the other day. There it is, growing away very nicely. Just stop the top to make it go bushy. Just as a fallback in case anything happened to this plant, but I think it's fine. Just cutting back to sort of sections of growth. You can see there's a little stem break there, just breaking out of that cut. But I do intend to go relatively deep, certainly down to a side shoot breaking out. Get rid of all these dead and dying leaves. A nice side shoot growing up there. See it there? So I've just cut down below there. Just cut down just above that side break there. I'm just going to tidy that cut up. Right, let's get rid of some of this stuff. Now these branches are fairly thick, so I am using secateurs. Don't normally use secateurs, and there are so many branches that I need to use like a scissor type implement, primarily because, you know, I haven't got all day to sit here using a knife. Now, that would be probably the best way, but when you've got a lot of plants like I have here to cut back, I don't want to be stuck here all day doing this. I'm going to cut this one back to a nice side shoot breaking out above here. Right, that one. I mean, I could get dozens of cuttings from this plant. But it's a real strong growing plant. It's a really lovely plant. It's done very well for me. I'm hopeful that I'm not going to have too many problems with mealybug. We'll have a look tomorrow. It'll be a two-part thing, as I said earlier. I'm just going down to where I can see little side breaks coming out. Filling up my basket. Filling up my that one's thin growth coming out of there, so I'm going to get rid of all of that. That's just flower stem, really. They're a little bit like regals. They tend to have a flower stem as well as a growth stem. So they're all flower stems primarily, but at this time of year they tend to revert over to growth stems. That's all flower stem on there, redundant as it is. This really is a bit of a supplementary video, just so you can see what I'm doing. As I said, I like to do this now when I just make videos off the top of my head, not really planned. This is the good thing about having a separate channel where I can just go in. I filled up my bin. I really need to go and empty it. I'm pressing it down though, it's okay. Now, I did film this actually last year. Well, it may be worth going back actually and having a look and comparing the two. But it has done exceptionally well. We have had, obviously, in the UK a very warm summer, very dry summer as well. So, you know, potentially that's helped it grow. At the moment, I'm going down about a half, or not even a half. I'll decide in a moment how deep I'm going to go. Taking out all the flower stems. Get rid of all the yellow leaves. Get rid of that one. I have got the greenhouse open, so apologies if you can hear a lot of noise. That's okay. like an aeroplane taking off somewhere. Right. Swing this round. A lot of growth there coming up, which is all flower, a lot of flower stem, which I can easily cut out. These stems are quite big. Now normally what you would happen when you have a break, it'll be a three-pronged break. You'll have two growth stems and a flower stem coming up through the middle of it in these sort of unique scented type plants. And I'm just generally cutting out all of these. A little bit of a white fly there that's flown up out of it. I don't often get white fly outside because white fly tend to prefer still conditions, which is why white fly are always bad in a greenhouse where you obviously protected against the wind. It's not that bad. Let's go down. A lot of flower stems here. I'm overflowing, but it'll be easy to pick it up. Right, let's concentrate on this bit now. That's a lovely growth stem there. I should say there's no sign of any sort of caterpillars or other bugs on it. Oh, there might have been a moth there. I spoke too soon, didn't I? Sorry, there's a moth there that I've dealt with. Don't want to bring that into the greenhouse. I think it's a road sweeper coming round. They come round about once every 2 months, and it just happens to be today. Right, we're getting there. I guess I've lost about a third. I've taken it back by about a third at the moment. Flower stem. There we are. I mean, that's looking quite tidy. Okay, I've got to get rid of a lot of yellow leaves. But the thing is, these kinds of plants can handle being very dry, which is why they're ideal for very dry conditions, which is almost certainly why they've done very well this year. You know, very sort of quite hot summer that we've had in the UK this year. That. Down a bit more. Right, so now it's just a question of sort of balancing up a bit. So I'm looking round the top of the plant. Just take that. I'm going to take that whole branch out to balance it off with the other side. Got a lot of big stems there. I'm looking there, that side's obviously a bit lower than this side, so I'm going to take the whole of that stem off. Got a young stem there, that's fine. I'm going to take all of that off. That's pretty balanced now, just needed a little bit. The turning of the giant pot has upset my piled up pots underneath. Right, so let's go down. And off. Down there, we've got a lot of good growth coming through underneath here. It's superb. Go down a bit deeper actually, because I've got such a lot of side shoots that are deep down, which means that there's going to be a lot of new stem breaks growing up from the lower down in the plant, which is exactly what you want. But remember, I've got to get this in, be putting it down in this area here. There's not room for it, I know, at the moment. Get that down. May get rid of that whole branch there. Lift up a bit now. That's a double break. That's a flower break. That I can take down to there. So we're cutting down harder now. We're going down to about half now, I would guess, overall. Getting rid of a lot of the yellow growth. I'm just sort of casting my eye around it now. It's the balancing up that we're doing now. Good. That's got a break coming below. Nearly all of these have got breaks coming below where I've cut, so I can cut them harder if I wish. And I'll take the camera off and show you in a moment. Made a right pile there. Closer to the stem break. Right, back a bit further there. And nip that whole flower stem out. Take that one out. Go down a bit harder there. Take that one out. There we are. I mean, we're not far off. We could go even deeper. Take that back. Take that back. Right. Okay. I think we're almost there, really. I want to say last year I took it back much deeper. But I know I've got one or two dead stems down in the base of this plant, so I'm not going quite as deep this year. Plus the fact I am going to repot it. This has been in here for 3 years. I checked the potting updates. I'm turning this round now to get a better view of the overall angles. I'm going to hit that. I'm going to hit that. There's a break above, so that's all below rather. Sorry. Put that there. that. Right, now down inside we have got a dead stem. This is a dead stem, so I can cut that off. We've got quite a big dead stem there. There we are, that's a dead stem. We got rid of that. All the rest of them are okay, I think. So I've cut one or two off earlier in the season. Yeah, that's all fine. Okay, I think I'm happy with that. Take off. Oh, I've got a small dead stem there actually. Just get rid of that. Not a small one. Not too serious. It's fine. That looks as if it might be loose actually. That's a real shame. Yeah, I don't know what to think of that. It's a shame that. So that's still alive. It's got enough juice on it to keep it alive, so I haven't quite decided what I want to do with that. Balances it off this side, doesn't it? It's a shame, potentially. I'm going to take that down to there. Get rid of that dead leaf. Get rid of that. Right, okay. What I'll do, I'll just lift the camera off, show you what I've done potentially, and all the fresh growth that you can potentially see coming through. I'll just zoom in a bit, but hopefully you can see. No, I'll go back, sorry. So we got lots and lots of side shoots here, you can see them. They're all breaking through. I mean, they go all the way down. We've got new growth coming out through here. Got lots of new little side shoots coming through here. This was a stem that has actually just snapped back a little bit. I have to keep an eye on that. I haven't decided what I may cut that off. I haven't decided yet. But you can see all these side shoots here just springing out, and there are lots of areas where we can get these side shoots growing out, so it's really good. I'm really pleased how that's gone. Look at all these over here, look, loads and loads of side shoots all beginning to break through. I mean, we could go even deeper, but the fact that I want to repot this means that I want to have a little bit of growth on it, but that's done really well, and I don't think I'm going to have too many problems from any bugs etc. in the compost. I think this is growing very, very strongly. But you can see here where I've potentially cut this back, got two good stems growing out there. I may tidy up some of these wounds, probably won't cause too many problems. Yeah, so there we go. I think that's just about it for this video. I will do a second part to it showing you me potting the plant up, but that's it for this one. Bye bye for now.